Hello and welcome to the grand finals of the AMD Premier League TongFu Zenith. Two invitees for TA3. One of these two teams is going to go home with $3,000. The other one is going to be going home with half. And of course with the knowledge that they did not beat their opponents, which is pretty big. Because they want to of course win this. To show their fans, to show everyone that they deserve that invite to TA3. And the second place also goes home with $1,500. So at least they're not going to go home empty-handed. And I'll be casting this together with Basskip once again. Welcome back.
Hey Sheever, and what a journey it's been to get to this grand final. I think we've had a ton of great games along the way. So, you know, people haven't seen those. Sheever's got them on YouTube, I guess.
Oh, yes.
So check it out.
Or
yep.
YouTube.
But,
I was going to show the brackets, sorry. Brackets are there.
Ah, cool. Yeah, so we've had a big journey. We had regional qualifiers ages ago. We had the regional qualifier finals. We had the main event. We've had great games the whole way along in Zenith and TongFu. You know, they're here, they're on top. For teams this big, I'm not sure how big a deal the prize money is, though it's still pretty significant. But more than anything, this has got to be about bragging rights, and we have a best of 5 for both teams to show their stuff. So I'm really looking forward to this one. And TongFu, we've seen it sort of so far in this tournament quite a bit. We're going to see more priority on the Shadow Demon, and the Lone Druid actually makes it through again. So I think Zenith probably going to take that. We'll have to see.
Yeah, Ice loves to play that hero, and Magnus already picked up by TongFu, of course. So the rest of the band's pretty standard for now. I mean, even with the Shadow Demon seems to be pretty standard at the moment. So it is gonna be the Lifestealer, Bat Rider, Nyx Assassin, and then also indeed that Shadow Demon, and Zenith actually taking into their bonus time. By the way, of these two teams, Zenith is the only one that actually dropped a game in their journey towards the grand finals. The game that they dropped were up against Rattlesnakes. TongFu has not dropped a single game, but you might argue that they'd had an easier path to get where they are today. There's been, of course, estimations about who is going to win this. I think most favorites are for Zenith, but I'm actually going to be checking just in case I'm wrong.
Oh, the
yeah,
cheese
Zenith
bets, the
is
tango
66%.
bets.
Yeah, I'm going to check the tango bets. Zenith is in 66, TongFu is at 34. Of course, TongFu, even though they are a TA3 invitee team, they were only invited after LGD China changed their roster and broke the rules. So, you know, you can be considered them a bit less favored, but I think that they got that invite for a reason. They are a very strong team, and I can indeed say that I am once again hoping for how Queen of Pain. But, you know, I can dream about that, I can think about that, but I don't think it's going to happen for now.
You're gonna have to tweet at King J or something and just be like, King J,
get that guy his quap, please.
You gotta get the quap. But Zenith actually with a pretty aggressive start to things. So the Lone Druid is actually going to be left in the pool. So it's going to be taken by TongFu, and oh, this is a kind of a big show on a bit of a push strat, though. We'll see if it's going to. We'll see how it works out. TongFu are going to be looking for a setup stunner. Hopefully going to be putting the Lone Druid on the solo safe. Magnus heading towards mid. So I think the game plan kind of obvious for Zenith, and we saw XY Tinker yesterday, and I think we're going to be seeing XY Tinker again today, so definitely looking forward to that one.
Yeah, and of course it's a direct response to what you just said. I mean, TongFu already looking to be going for maybe for a bit of a push strat, and Tinker, the anti-pushers of anti-pushers with that March of the Machine is just, you're not going to be able to walk through. Even the Bear is quite indispensable to that, so gonna be already securing their towers with that. Of course, LeShrek works well together with the Magnus and the Lone Druid. If he gets entangles, you got your RP that can have the Split Earth and the Lightning following up on it, and already pretty solid. LeShrek, I think we talked about that before. I mean, he's one of those heroes that is strong in any kind of form in the game, early, late, or mid game. So I guess good pickup, but as you said, they kind of show in their hand with now a Dragon Knight getting banned out by Zenith, as well as TongFu actually banning out the Skywrath Mage, which is interesting to see, and Juggernaut and Darkseer there as well. I'm kind of thinking, like we saw yesterday, we saw XY on the solo safe lane Tinker, right?
It was a duo lane with the Rubik. Darkseer was jungling, and then it was the aggressive tri lane with the axe that tried to dive him over and over. Yeah, they had that lineup that allowed for them to have 3 heroes on solo lanes, but then choose where they wanted to have their support Rubik. They're gonna maybe do that again, because again, Juggernaut, Gyrocopter and Tinker, both heroes that can in theory go solo, and then they can just choose where to put their supports.
And that's probably where TongFu is going to put theirs as well. Or something like that.
For TongFu, I think there's
10 seconds.
two strategies to attempt here. Either they look to go aggressive and they kind of follow through with what they showed with their first 3 picks. So leave Lone Druid till the safe, Magnus on mid, and then have a tri-lane, started to be formed around the Leshrac. Alternatively, I like a strategy where they put the Lone Druid on the off lane, Magnus goes mid, and they pick up somebody like a Storm Spirit to be their solo, to be their safe lane farmer, just so they have someone to kill the Tinker. Because if they want to continue with this push strategy, they have to have someone to jump that Tinker. Though it looks like they might still just be trying to go aggressive here. We'll have to see.
Yeah, and they pick up the Bane as their support, so that's gonna be a nightmare to set up for Split Earth.
I thought the point was just gonna be that's gonna be a nightmare for Zenith. And
you were expecting pun.
These Sheever puns. But,
yeah.
no.
Famous.
Okay, so Zenith, there's still a Lina in the pool. To combo with the Rubik. That's kind of nice to have if they so desire. And what else has made it through? If TongFu look to go aggressive with the try, then they can send the Gyrocopter to solo against him and actually does a pretty good job, so that's not too bad. Tinker, not awful against the Magnus, though I think Zenith perhaps preferring him as a farming hero as opposed to the risks associated with mid. And I think if TongFu see that the Tinker is going to be mid, then they'll just run the defensive tri-lane so that they can roam and gank with the Leshrac and the Bane. So...
And they're going to be going for another setup stun after the Rubik. I mean, you mentioned the Lina. It's the Jakiro. Does the same thing, essentially. Maybe a bit more careful hero, and a bit more defensive play from Zenith. We still haven't had, for TongFu, like we have got the Magnus that can go on the off lane, or on the mid lane, which is probably mid, but I'm kind of hoping that's not the case. Lone Druid on the, I guess Magnus mid, Lone Druid off lane. We need a carry for TongFu. And it's not going to be Queen of Pain.
Yeah, we need the farmer. I don't know. It could be a quap. Farming quaps and farming storms are a thing. But TongFu. This is very defensive. I think they could really be punished for this here. The lanes are pretty obvious. I do like this if Zenith are going to be going for the farming Tinker on mid, because Bane and Leshrac will be able to rotate and try and put pressure on him. So Zenith right now with this lane set up, what it needs to be is a jungler or an offlaner, and there is a Nature's Prophet there as well. And they could even go for something like a Chen just to have that really reliable TP in for the Tinker. So I think it's none too bad, but this lane configuration for TongFu is probably going to force the Tinker to mid.
Yeah, if they're going to be going for Nature's Prophet for that, that's going to be global pushing strat for Zenith all over. But they are the ones to go for the Bane still, so gonna be countering the Magnus with that. Gonna probably be having a safe lane Tinker and then a Gyro Rubik Jakiro maybe to try and shut down that anti-mage and just delay the game so that Tinker and Queen of Pain can do their thing and get big while anti-mage is getting shut down. But it is gonna be a How anti-mage, so it's gonna be tough to do. We know that he can farm, and we are gonna be seeing how fast he can farm, if he can farm fast enough to take down Zenith, or if Zenith is gonna be the one to spike ahead. Because if Zenith get a head start, I think Gyro together with Queen of Pain and Tinker will just be able to just spike ahead.
Yeah, and lanes. I'm interested to see what these matchups are going to be on top. I think it's going to be the Gyrocopter against the Lone Druid, and then it's going to be Quap against Mag. So both of those are pretty good matchups for Zenith. And then I guess it has to be an aggressive trialing with the Tinker, which is interesting but not completely unprecedented. And we've got to smoke, so we better run over who's playing what before we get this underway.
Yeah, we have Yamate playing his Queen of Pain today, of course. One of his signature heroes. Ice on the Rubik. We have got Xpy playing his Tinker once again. Ice on the Gyrocopter, and X Freedom playing the Jakiro for his team as everybody is going bottom.
Yeah, and real fast Moo is going to be on Magnus, King J on Lone Druid, How on the Anti-Mage, Banana or Bew is going to be on the Bane, and Sansheng going to be playing the Shrek.
Pings going off from both teams. I think they might have seen each other. Now they do. Now they do.
30 seconds to battle.
Walking past the ward, finding Banana, Ice Path, Telekinesis as well, but there's not enough damage to go through. Rocket Barrage is going to be up on How for a bit, but not really doing that much, and it doesn't look like Zenith can get anything done. We of course saw this yesterday from Zenith as well when they were up against MUFC and they were able to get a 3 versus 3 trade out of that. But they are going to be able to back off, and they're going to be leaving Hao to his devices. And it looks like we are going to be seeing indeed Tinker, Ice, and Freedom hanging around here to try and stop Hao from doing things. And it's going to be Ice that's roaming top, so as expected. Or as you mentioned earlier anyways, as the rest of the lanes for TongFu looking pretty solid with Lone Druid on the solo suicide lane. And yeah, Magnus mid in the tri lane for TongFu as well in the bottom lane to stay farmed up that Hao.
A little decision, but one I'd like to point out for TongFu is that Mu didn't buy his own Tango, so that's going to speed up his bottle a little bit, so Sancheng is pulling him something there just to help out a little bit with this mid matchup against the Queen of Pain, which is going to be tough, especially given that Yamate went for this really aggressive stats build. You know, already starting to get the denies going on mid, so that's pretty good for him. But yeah, looks like King J got. Looks like he took a rocket barrage, I would suspect, on top, already forced to use that salve. And I think we saw this from Ice the other day as well. Continues to find out these lone druids on top and just burst through their regen right at level 1. So
yeah, nice that flat cannon. What he normally does. Sorry. So,
TongFu run a couple of pulls. No. It's I'm just musing on what's going on so far with these lanes.
Well, if you continue musing, is it gonna be the first blood mid, or I mean bottom rather? And who is it gonna be? Like, you can place your bets right now.
Well, I would watch out for top. Okay, so as far as the kill goes, this is always such a tricky one. It's probably not going to be top for a while, barring any big misplays or big pickups. Mid, I think less likely. So yeah, I'm probably going to say bot. And if it is going to be a kill, I don't know. I feel like TongFu go over aggressive and Zenith turn it around, and then that's the story. But it looks like TongFu actually pretty defensive. They pick up the Enfeeble, so yeah, no setup for the Split Earth, and maybe I have to turn that around now. Maybe it's just going to be the kill for Zenith, with them just going aggressive. We'll have to see.
I'm thinking Zenith is going to get the first blood with X-Spy getting the kill.
Sounds like
there we go.
Sounds like a fair prediction, especially with almost level 3.
Yeah, even though King J, King J is having a tough time top as well. Ice is now completely out of mana though. Has got a level 2 up in the flat cannon. King J eats his tango. Still has 2 left, so it's not, it's not. I was gonna make a very bad pun there, but I'm not gonna do it. It's not hopeless just yet. I was thinking about something not out of the woods just yet, and then using the fact that he eats trees for not getting out of the woods yet would be kind of a pun, but it would be too long and it would be too, yeah, wouldn't be good.
I don't know. I think explaining the pun that you were going to, have is maybe. Oh well. So okay, another nice little play, and this is something that Ice seems to sort of have perfected, and I think this is part of the deal with him also playing the Lone Druid side of this matchup. But he picks up a really early Bassi, gives him the regen to get a couple more flat cannons out, and also he leaves it on just to keep the creep wave pushing in, and that means that the creep wave is getting a couple of little auto attacks here and there on the bear, which is actually getting a lot of harassment. And as always, we sort of see the resummon already used. And now King J has to send the bear back to base. So Ice, I think he has this matchup down pat. It's looking really good for him.
Yeah, in the meantime, on the aggressive trial in Hao is not shut down that much. He's managed to get 10 last hits rather, with, well, X-Spy getting only 7. And of course, X-Spy is the one that still wants to go for his boots of travel at some point. So he needs that farm, if not from last hits, then at least from kills. But kills not really happening just yet in the entire map, with both teams. Well, both teams playing it safe. Well, that's for Zenith shouldn't be the case because they've got an aggressive trial lane, so they should be not playing it safe. Otherwise, what's the point of an aggressive trial lane? Ice Path, not gonna happen from X Freedom. X-Y taking a lot of damage. There comes the Ice Path and the telekinesis. Dual breath going through as well. The Martian machines will make sure that X-Y is gonna be staying safe, but that was a bit of an awkward engagement. I was thinking that Ice Path was going to be coming way earlier, but X-Y is still alive, so I guess I can't judge that all that much.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Jakira pick was nice when it was taken, but the anti-mage being, the anti-mage being picked up by TongFu sort of forced Zenith into this aggressive position. So maybe they would have preferred to have something like Alina here, but oh, how it's lifted up, the dual breath and the zap, pure damage. Yeah.
Do you know what this means?
Sheever predictions? Is it like a little bell?
Oh yeah, X-Y gets the first blood with the laser. Did I say it on who? Did I say it was on the
You said it on
anti-mage?
it. Yeah, you didn't say specifically who it was.
I
gonna be
meant
first blooded.
anti-mage. Hereby declare that I meant anti-mage. Nice. Telekinesis,
Sensing
another
might be the
ice
second
bath.
one.
Yeah,
And another laser.
That's gonna be a recipe for success. Howl comes in though, looking for X Freedom. Doesn't have his mana break just yet. There would otherwise be a double kill, maybe even with XY being very low. Ice also being very low. Everybody backs off, but they do get 2 kills out of that, and that's of course good. They are gonna see Howl farming away here though, right now. Like, he died, but he comes back to a lane where his enemy is forced out by himself, of course, and he's gonna be getting some free farm here.
Yeah, Hal comes back in. He puts an end to the fun by, I think he mana burned Jakiro, and then Jakiro was out of mana, so then he turned to the Tinker and mana burned all the Tinker's mana, and then he turned to Ice and mana burned all of his mana as well. So all 3 heroes going to be making their way back to base to get some mana back up. They do have some pretty reasonable levels, so it looks like they're going to be fine. Another little thing about mid was that Zenith, I think, actually got a successful D ward off on whatever TongFu's rune ward was, so that's made things even more difficult for Mu. He's running non-stop bottle crows. It was kind of expected, but he actually gambled for the 4-minute rune, thinking that it was going to be top, but it didn't work out. And looks like he's going to contest this one as well. He's going to miss out on a couple of creeps worth of experience.
Wow, Yamate the one that doesn't go for that. Invisibility rune picked up by Magnus. Quite surprising that he didn't blink forward and get that. Maybe he was afraid that if he blinked he was going to get RP'd. And he wouldn't have that blink anymore to get away.
Yeah, and it's not a huge investment. It wouldn't have been a great investment for him because he was actually bottle crowing. So it wasn't a question of, oh, I get to bottle the invis and I get the 3 charges. It was, you know, it was just, oh, I'd steal the invis from Mag, and he's probably not going to do too much with it. So, and Mag was also bottle crowing, so neither of them was really expecting to get the rune. Just trying to deny it from one another so that there's not any easy setup kills. And Mo, this is so sneaky. In the middle of a shockwave animation, he drops the observer ward on the high ground, so there's no way for Quap to suspect this unless Yamate was at the time clicked on the Magnus and looking at his inventory.
Yeah, now he places his second ward as well, just to make sure that the Zenith, Yamate has no idea that there's actually wards right there, because he never saw them in the inventory of Mu.
Oh, Mu's ward is actually a little bit misplaced. Oh, is it? Is it giving vision on the high ground? Oh, no, it is. Good. Good. I clicked the wrong button. Disregard.
Okay.
I thought it wasn't quite on the high ground, and so it was just giving vision over the river, which would have been a little bit awkward.
That would have been a little bit disappointing. As Lone Druid actually finally goes down top, but this time Ice a bit too happy a bit too happy with it sticking around too long. There was an exchange in the end.
Yeah, sorry about that one, guys. So it looks like Lone Druid, I would suspect, tried to pin himself into the trees, but yeah, Ice not having any of that. So gets the kill, he dies in response, but no experience going the way of the Lone Druid. So definitely a favorable trade for him.
Was actually the first kill of TongFu.
Yeah. And not really getting that much out of it. So TongFu, definitely with an extremely defensive lineup.
Well, they're looking to be more aggressive. They're going to be having Banana and Sansheng roaming. They are seeing the rune and they know that... Oh, hello, Nightmare. Split Earth. Is there going to be enough damage? Brain Step, Lightning. It should be enough. One more hit. No. No. Lightning.
Magnus.
Oh, there goes the Magnus. Moo. Shockwave gets the kill. Nicely done. Just in time. That was close. If he would have gotten away
that was great play by Moo. The range on that shockwave is silly, but you know, whatever. It was a really nice play from him. Completely blind as well. So good job. And that's now 2 kills on the maps. And Magnus, looking kind of scary, makes his way down towards bot. Unfortunately, a regen rune for him. I mean, we still haven't seen the big plays haste, the big plays invis. So probably waiting around for that. Both teams with fresh wards on this bottom lane as well, so keeping an eye on everything that's going on. XY, pretty good farm, has a soul ring picked up. No attempts by the supports to stack the Ancients, so it does kind of show that they are still on the front foot in this lane. Had they had to fall back, then, you know, that's sort of that's the plan B for Zenith. To get a couple of stacks up on those Ancients, and that's going to be the source of the travels, but XY already making really good progress, and this laser, I mean, how? The pure damage, nothing that he can do, even with 2 points up in the spell shield. It just doesn't... 3 points in laser does not care about the spell shield in the slightest.
Yeah, he's up to 29 last hits, which is not really the one thing that he wanted to have. I mean, XY is not really doing that much better at all, actually, but the fact that they shut down How this way is, of course, great, especially knowing that the gyrocopter isn't getting shut down and is actually getting kills.
Yeah, and looking at it in the context of the overall assets size, I mean, Zenith, even just trading evenly at bot is fine, because they're winning the other 2 lanes right now. And, I mean, they're not really under that much threat, because TongFu, the only play for them, really, is to have Mu rotate. And so long as Zenith have eyes on Mu, then they can just maintain this farming position and continue to push out this advantage. Until XY has his travels, then he can, you know, be bouncing from lane to lane. And then we'll probably see a little bit more roaming from them.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really need to make stuff happen. They've got an anti-mage, they've got a lone druid, and in theory, late game, those two are going to be rolling over Zenith. The question is, are they going to be given that time? Because when is Zenith going to be more aggressive? Because Zenith also sticking on their lanes for now. I mean, they're kind of winning the top lane, I would guess, in terms of last hits. King J sitting on 35 for 8, so not doing that bad. Ice on 59 for 13 though, so that's a lot better, so big difference there. Mid lane, for Zenith, not really going that well in terms of Yamate already dying once by the Magnus. He's on 47 for 9 with Moose sitting on 43 for 6, so the difference also minimum for that one. And the bottom lane not really one, so I'm kind of wondering when is Zenith gonna make their move, because I feel like they should be.
Yeah, Zenith, I think it's just the mid game for them. So get the first core item up on whoever. Ice, we haven't seen just yet what he's actually working towards. Just picking up some cheap items, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see maybe a drum. Oh, shoot. Sorry about that one.
Again. Oh, me too. I didn't see that either. Wow. I'm so distracted. No. That was Queen of Pain.
Are you watching the qualifiers?
No, that was actually me checking the chat for the reactions of the shockwave from the Magnus of the Queen of Pain. But he killed her off again.
Right.
This time, the RP was used.
Using the RP. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Mu, 1.5k gold in the bank. So that's looking extremely promising for TongFu right now. Talking about Zenith, talking about when they're going to go, again, I think it's just waiting around for those first couple of items. Ice, actually going to be picking himself up a Helm of the Dominator with this Helm of Iron Will. So that's a little bit slower from him, though. It looks like Zenith, maybe the game plan is just to get more out of the map. And instead of fighting this in the mid game, maybe looking a little bit closer towards the late game when they've got that Hex, and that's really going to be the chain lockdown. On top.
Oh, I'm checking bottom first because there's a smoke where top is going to be the bear going down, but a master doesn't. So that's that. And the smoke top is already scouted out, I think. Actually.
Top tower is under attack.
Yeah, here comes the telekinesis by Yao still though. The ice path is going to be there as well. How is going to be dual breath? Oh, his blink is super short range. I'm not quite sure if he was thinking straight when he did that. He is going to be able to get himself away. Does get harassed a lot, but doesn't go down. And that's a smoke gank from Zenith. Kind of wasted. Yamate actually rotating from that, and I don't think that was worth it. She could have maybe thrown out her Sonic Wave, and then it would have been a kill. But Yamate feeling a little bit passive here, while not really justified.
Yeah, and so TongFu, I think the big thing just needs to be Mu, get this Blink Dagger, and then, hopefully try and find a team fight off the back of that. Because Lone Druid is still having a tough time. His tower has been pushed down top. He's doing okay in terms of farm, but not the dominance that we would expect from a Lone Druid in a 1v1. And that's just Ice. I think once upon a time voted, the most feared 1v1 laner, and the most feared to 1v1 against in all of Dota. So
Suicide
kind of showing why. Yeah,
because you never know what he's gonna do. Sometimes, like, he's one of those players that he can just die for a kill, and he doesn't care if he dies or not, and that's just very risky. You never know when he is gonna be trying something crazy or not, so very unpredictable. But he did win his top lane, of course, did take the tower down as well, took a kill, died once. I will forgive him. And yes. Well, I thought he was going to be able to get another kill maybe on Lone Druid, but wasn't able to do that in the end. I mean, the only kill that he has is the one that he exchanged with King J at that point. King J, same story though, like he hasn't been involved in any kills either. Only he, of course, just rotated to help kill off that tower, and probably looking for a push a bit more. We saw this yesterday as well, or was it today? Not sure. But just taking down a tier 1 tower, of course, gives extra space for that Lone Druid to farm, and now it is going to be Ice that's going to be a bit behind. Going to be finding himself a bit less freedom to farm, and even less freedom soon, because there's a rotation from both Mu and Banana with smoke up, looking for a kill up on Ice.
There's a Fiend's Grip as well, so this should be pretty straightforward. Mu actually changes direction. Yeah.
Want to be going for Yamate instead. Should be able
They've
to
got
get
the
it as
damage
well.
for sure. Yeah,
but if they
want to
use and an RP and the Fiend's Grip up on that guy, they do well.
skewer into sap. Oh, they don't even need the sap.
No, I was kind of wondering if they wanted to use the RP, but I guess they didn't really need it, and I agree with that, so that's good. In the meantime, on the bottom lane, pressure continues as well. Tinker has got his boosted travel ready though, so is going to be able to be that menace on the map that everybody fears and some love, whichever side you're on. It's normally either hate or love, not in between.
There's an invis mag walking bot, so this is
Free
potentially
RPs.
big for TongFu.
Support still hanging around, and the result of the aggressive trial and is showing. They're still level 5 at minute 15. And here comes the Queen of Pain as well, again. So if he can get a good positioning off here, that will be massive. And they did not see the rune being picked up, I think. But look at their positioning, they're so safe, just in case. Not in range for that RP.
Doesn't have much invis left. Needs to be careful.
He's gonna be hiding. There he goes. They don't know how close they are. Both
Sneaky,
Mu and
sneaky.
Yamate. I like it. I love it. There's no way for Mu to eat through the tree, so it's nice.
Radiant's middle tower
like it.
is under attack.
There is a ward here for the Radiant team, of course. They can see some more. Mu ready with a blink dagger, still sitting around. I mean, he doesn't want to give up. In terms of levels, though, like that aggressive trial and leaves his mark so bad. It is, or so so distinctive. I mean, there's 2 level 5s there still on the side of Zenith, and they are really behind in terms of experience. They're 2k experience behind, which is pretty big at this point, especially if you consider that still, even with that 2k behind, that is gonna be Ice, who's level 13, 2 levels higher than the highest. Imagine how much lower the rest is in terms of the rest of the lanes that they have. As their smoke gets broken, they find Sunshine, he goes down 4-4 right now on the kill score.
Yeah.
And Moose getting scouted out, has got that RP,
Top tower has fallen.
and now also has got support in terms of Banana's Bane. They don't really work well together though. Like you have got yourselves a solo target hero, which in the form of a Bane, and you are AoE damaged in the form of Moon. So together they don't really make stuff happen.
Yeah, and the other problem for... Oh, what's going on? No. Okay, so Moose gonna be fine. The other problem for TongFu right now is that the only game plan that they really have is the late game one. Pushing into the Tinker is going to be tough until they have a whole bunch of items and, you know, Anti-Mage and Lone Druid. You're waiting for them. And you could even see that no interest in, you know, fighting too early. He's just working his way towards his battle period. It's going to be pretty slow. I mean, we're already 17.5 minutes in, so... this game is looking like a long one unless Zenith take the initiative and, you know, try and do something. But it doesn't really look like that's the game plan with Ice picking up this Helm of the Dominators, so... And does he have a Dominated creep on the map right now? He does. Okay, so he's got the Centaur up, so that's probably going to be heading down to stack either some Ancients or just stack some big camps up for him. So yeah, it looks like we're in a kind of stally game.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised about that, because I feel like the same thing. With TongFu, I understand that they have an anti-mage, they can farm and think, you know what, we got late game. I don't care what you do in the meantime, as long as you don't kill us, we're happy. But I was kind of expecting, oh, nice ice path, Mu, telekinesis, doesn't drop into the high ground though. He's gonna be able to be away. Fiend's Grip, Yamate gonna be fighting a Split Earth, the Bear, and Death as well with the Skewer and the RP. Finds X Freedom as well, level 6 on him right now, and he is standing no chance against those people that are actually double the amount of levels that he is. XY gonna be marked to the machining so that he can actually be safe. In the meantime, from the side, Ice coming down with the call down. Flat Cannon helping out, but he does get put in the Nightmare. Split Earth there as well as Entangles and Fiend's Grip and Ice. Gonna be trying to run for his life, won't be able to do so. XY and Ice not able to help him out, and that is gonna be 3 dead on the side of Zenith, and no hero is being taken in return for TongFu. Am I saying that properly? 3 dead? Yes, because X Freedom died as well. Okay, he's just... Yep. Yeah, he's level 6, so he's back up very fast.
Yeah, a really nice little fight from TongFu, and I think Ice just a little bit over-aggressive. You could see what he was going for, trying to put the call down in front of Mu, but there were heroes seeing him walk up there, so... Just because of how the way that, you know, audio works, Mu would have heard that and he just didn't get hit, so... TongFu pick up 3, they lose absolutely nothing. Hao is farming pretty well, and... Yeah, things looking pretty good. I'm really interested to see how Zenith are going to be feeling about this continued late-game strategy. But they've kind of already locked into it, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah, and
I mean,
of course-
Jarkop is now going a little bit more aggressive, picking up the Lothos.
Yeah, we got a bit of an example of why Zenith doesn't really want to be aggressive, because apparently they're not going to be able to win those fights with that RP on the board. It wasn't just the RP, but of course also the Fiend script. Just showing why Zenith can't really be aggressive. And TongFu, they weren't the one to pick the fight. It was of course the Ice Path that started it all off, but of course, you know, if it's get thrown their way, they will take it. They're not stupid. So yeah, I'm thinking long game, not a lot of kills.
Perhaps not, though. It looks like Zenith are gonna kick it up a notch right now. So they've got the Blink Dagger up in the Tinker, helps to enable the pushes, helps to get the zoning going, and they are still definitely the stronger lineup right now. While the Anti-Mage isn't really contributing all that much. So how nice decision making. He's gonna try and push top a little bit, but Zenith, no clowning around. They're just gonna head straight in on bot and start to try and get these tier 1s down.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And with the March of the Machines, there's really no hope for TongFu to fight back, or at least not for a long fight. Or at least waiting until X-Spy goes away. Which he is right now, but they're still hanging around. The RP is still there, they have got a Blink Dagger still as well, so... thinking they're gonna be trying again. 5-man Dota for the win. 5-man Dota on not both sides though, and Anti-Mage is still farming top, split pushing top. As an entangle hits by Yamate, but he's able to blink himself away after the Ice Path helps out. Bear just looking for something. Cold Arm coming down. They really want the Bear. Telekinesis though hits upon XY, and XY goes down. Here comes Yamate though. There's an RP up on 2. It is gonna be Ice. It is the last one alive here for them. Heroes that really have the farm going for them. The support's the last one up right now, and it's 1, and it's 2, and it's a wipe. They got 2 heroes in return though. They kill off the Anti-Mage of all people who came in there just to try and do something. Anti-Mage and Lone Druid were picked off. But they lose so much more, and they don't get a tower in return. TongFu, the team that we said, like late game, they've got it. Already taken mid game as well, and maybe they're gonna be taking Ice as well. No, that's just a nightmare with some harassment going his way, but that's it. Team wipe. Thoughts?
Yeah. A really nice fight for TongFu. Zenith get a couple of minor victories. Nice steal from Ice, gets the reverse polarity, but unfortunately he had to kind of waddle his way over, so... by the time he got there, Ice was already gone. So they claim some minor victories, but yeah, TongFu looking really strong. And another, one more time, Banana is making extremely good use of this Fiend script. I mean, we're seeing it used every single fight, to start things off. It's not really being cancelled, so his positioning is great. And I actually really like the Bane pickup here because he's maxed out the Enfeeble, and that's going to be thrown on the Gyrocopter to really help take the edge out of that damage. And I mean, right now it's pretty much making him useless. He's got 129 minus 120 is 9 damage. So
yeah, that is not gonna be all that much. Soon he'll have to heal people when he attacks. We are gonna.
That's not a very
see them...
scary flank.
No,
yeah.
We are gonna see them taking out a tier 1 tower with now Lone Druid actually coming in. I'm not sure if that's the right choice. They're gonna be finding Yamate. There's a Shadow Strike slowing him down. Is he actually gonna chase this Bear? Gonna come in looking for entangles. Can't find it. Never mind. Finds it. Bear gonna get an Ice Path at least. Oh, they wanna gap him. They RP him. They score him and they kill him off Moo with the pick off. And this could open the map up for TongFu if they want to try to pick off some more. But do they really want to? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. The levels of hate being thrown on Yamate this game are just crazy. I mean, he's been on the receiving end, I think, of the majority of the reverse polarities, a couple of Fiend's grips, and the Bear showing that luck doesn't favor him either this game with those entangles. So TongFu, I think, in a position that I did not expect them to be in. How with the Battle Fury up, he's been relatively uninterrupted for the last little while. So Zenith, I mean, I thought it was going to be a stallier game, but I think now it's not really by choice anymore. Like before, it was looking like, oh, we're going to make the decisions to pick up more farm with our Helmet of Dominator, we're going to farm out the map, and then we're going to get our items, and then we're going to go. But now it's not that they're the ones deciding what the pace of the game is. TongFu are actually the ones, determining that. So
yeah, well,
Zenith have to feel at least a little bit worried.
Well, they are going to be trying to make a change here. They smoke up. They've got themselves the Gem of True set as well. Queen of Pain almost got her BKB ready, and I actually think that the courier does not have the recipe yet. No, it is gonna be the recipe, well, not really a recipe, but Ice has got his Shadow Blade right now. But it's gonna be Zenith that's roaming around trying to find pickups, and they're gonna be finding King J and Sunshine in the jungle, finding Sunshine first. Telekinesis there, Scream as well. Ice Path gonna come out as well on him as well. Nice Sonic Wave also gets hit on Banana a bit, but hello how? Queen of Pain.
Sound of your death.
Well,
That's awkward.
kind of
I was just saying hi.
up onto the high ground. They know he's there. They can't do anything against it. I like that.
Radiant structures
Like
are
they blink
fortified.
to the same place. One gets dropped on the high ground, one on the low ground. Can't do anything. They did see each other, of course. Well, actually, you know, Queen of Pain didn't see them, but Anti-Mage did see the Queen of Pain. But nice still blink for Queen of Pain to get himself out. And Yamate, of course, gets the kill. It's a nice pickup. Was a very risky pickup, but a pickup nonetheless. And that's what
A
Zenith
pickup
has to
that
go
almost
for.
got punished as well. It was a really nice blink direction from Yamate because Banana was actually walking into this big camp. So he was trying to walk into the big camp and get the feed script over the top of the trees. And that would have been a kill. So Yamate, really good awareness from him to go for that blink in that very peculiar direction, into the small camp. But saved his life, so good job to him.
In the meantime, the bear picked himself up a Hyper Stone, so we'll be having his Assault Cuirass ready, which is probably going to be his next item, as Bane is going to go for Mechanism, just needs a recipe for that one. Sunshine, going for the Bracer build, nothing wrong with that one. Moo, of course, we have him seen, I think we've seen him using his BKB. He hasn't died yet once. He is 4 for 0 for 6. He's been in 10 out of the 13 kills. He's doing really well for himself, and then on top of that, you've got yourselves an anti-mage. Even though he died twice, he is really starting to pick up his farm. He is highest on top of the list for his team, and only slightly behind the Tinker that is highest on top of the list in general. Almost got his Manta Style ready. Well, I say almost, but he still needs quite a bit. But he has got a Yasha, he's got Treads, he's got his Battle Fury. He is looking good.
Yeah, definitely the anti-mage getting bigger and bigger. And the nice thing for TongFu is that the threats sort of escalate in 3 directions, right? Yes, Tinker is eventually going to have this Hex, and he's going to be able to lock down 1. But, I don't know, past a certain point, 1 is not going to be enough. And the Tinker, if he continues to get initiated on, like he has been in these fights, I mean, not really getting all that much out of the farm. So the Fiend Script really being a pain for him, and positioning going to be very important. It'd be nice to see, I mean, maybe even a fairly early Lincoln's, though I think it's probably just going to have to come down to positioning at the end of the day for him. And the Blink Dagger obviously helping out a lot with that.
For sure. As we're going to see the Ancients being taken down by XY. Nice stack he has there. Going to be having the Hex, of course, soon, which is going to be helping out a lot. And I mean, we haven't really seen XY that much. Like, it's been a quiet game, so you don't really want to go off by yourself and try to split push that much. But he is doing a very nice job of keeping his tier 1 tower bottom alive. I mean, this last tier 1 tower is still standing. And overall, he is keeping the lanes going. As both teams are rotating, one has got a smoke up going bottom, the other has got a smoke up going top, so they're not going to be able to find each other. That's a shame.
Yep.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
The one thing I didn't mention, and I guess I should have when this came up, is that the nice thing about the Dominator for Ice 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 is not only that he can stack these Ancients, but it means that he can bring a creep to pushes, and that gives XY a consistent target to TP onto. So it's a minor thing, but it's really important for the Tinker just to be able to go where he wants, as opposed to being at the mercy of the equilibrium the creep plays.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing the tier 1 bottom now finally getting pressured. They might be trading it for tier 2 though. Anti-Mage blinking forward, looking for something. TP incoming for LeShrek as well. They give up on the tier 1 tower, even though it's very low. Ice Path going to be hitting on the bear, and they will be able to kill him off, I think. Yep, there they go. No kills going either way apart from that bear. The bear is gonna be getting re-summoned though, so that's all good and done. Tower is not in the night range just yet, so they won't be able to take it down. They have to be keeping an eye on this though, because Anti-Mage can just pick it up for free gold for himself otherwise. I don't know how he's got his Manta Style ready.
Yeah, and this tower is kind of important because they are stacking up these Ancients, and if TongFu suspect it, I mean they've already got 4 points up in Empower. They've got an Anti-Mage as well and a Lone Druid. That stack is not an obstacle. It doesn't take a very long time for them to clear. So this tier 1 is actually pretty important for Zenith, but I think it's about to go down yet. 3 right clicks from the bear.
Dire's bottom tower
I was saying free gold for the Anti-Mage, well, Lone Druid wants free gold as well, so I don't blame him actually.
Radiant's top
I mean,
tower
AM's got the whole jungle. He's got the whole map. You can give the Lone Druid a little bit. So.
Yeah.
And King J, how's that AC coming along? Oh, ice.
Radiant's top
nicely
tower
done.
has fallen.
Nice.
Yeah, very aggressive, but drops the call down, gets the tower down, and also manages to escape absolutely fine. So that's ice for you, I think.
He can make those
He's got
plays.
3.2. Yeah, he makes those plays. He just has such a good read on the game at all times. Like, just even the little things. I didn't check, but I suspect he might have been Bazzy toggling against the bear to kind of mess his last hits up a bit. I'm not sure. Whenever I checked, it was on, so that might just be the strat. But you can also just toggle the armor on and off the creeps, and that kind of, screws with people a bit. So some people trying to eke out every little bit of advantage that they can will do that. But
What do you
who
think he's
knows?
gonna
I don't know
buy?
if Ice is doing it.
'Cause he
I
is
think he
rich.
needs one of Manta, Butterfly, or
BKB.
something along those lines. Yeah, perhaps the BKB, but at the same time, we're probably going to see a Basher on AM at some point. King J maybe a Basher as well, and the Entangles are a problem. So I think I think it's probably going to be Butterfly for him next. Yeah, just for that evasion, but we'll see.
Well, yeah, I guess, there is and an Entangle, and maybe a Basher, and a Fiend Script, and an RP. A lot of things that can go through BKB, but still also, you want to make sure that they can't follow up on something if you are indeed locked inside one of those spells that I just said. You're at least not taking any extra damage, so it might help out, but he is saving it for now. Maybe he's gonna go crazy, he's gonna go Rapier, who knows.
Yeah, could definitely be. I'd like to point out that Zenith just finished the Hex on Tinker, so I think this is a big time for them to try and make something happen, but we'll see if they're going to be able to, because Moo, not doing too badly, also has picked himself up a Gem of True Sight, so we're really helping out and just continuing to stall this game. If Zenith don't know where you are, they can't come and kill you with that Hex. It looks like TongFu might oblige by showing themselves top, so we'll see in just a sec.
Yeah, well, in terms of don't know who they are, where they are, the coverage of the wards for Zenith is indeed not that big. They've got one in Roche, but most of the wards on the map are all of TongFu's.
Yeah, they had a couple more, but they just got
Dire's top
dewarded
tower
in
is
the
under
dire
attack.
jungle. So Zenith, just no response to this tier 2 being taken top. So
Radiant's bottom
we've got
tower
Yamate just waiting off to the side. He's got his BKB finished, but yeah, not the position that Zenith want to be in. And looks like XY should be okay to defend the majority of these towers, but needs to be so careful because there is, a blinking anti-mage, and at this point he is strong enough to potentially just jump straight on top of the Tinker. And picking himself up a BKB as well, just to make sure that he doesn't get chain lockdown. Doesn't get chain
Dire's
locked.
middle tower
Oh
is
God,
under attack.
doesn't get locked down by the Tinker over and over.
Yeah,
So
and the only
that's
thing
gonna
that
be
he has to
different.
worry about is Rubik stealing one of the many spells that are there to hold someone with the BKB in place. Well,
Yeah,
RP Fiend
exactly.
Script. Fiend Script is of course very easy to steal because it's a channeling spell.
One of the easiest.
Yep, together with the black hole.
Yeah.
In the meantime, King J is sitting on 4k gold.
Wow. So that's gonna be AC finished right
Yep,
now. Yeah.
there he
nice.
goes, picks it up on the bear. So we'll be having it complete and we'll be having only 200 gold left. Well, item is nice
So
too.
Ice ends up picking up the Monkey King bar in the end. So,
Maybe anticipating
I-
already that butterfly.
yeah, it's definitely nice raw damage. I don't know if the True Strike is going to come into effect too much. It will help pushing up onto the high ground. And it is definitely, just raw damage. It's what you want to keep the Leshrac and the Bane zoned out of these fights. So
Yeah, looks like
Not
we're
a bad
finally gonna
pickup.
see some action. We are having a Roshan up for grabs for someone, so the next fight will be granting the Roshan to the winner. Question is, who is gonna be able to take that? And I'm
Yeah,
actually
what-
thinking TongFu purely because of superior map coverage, but well, they're hanging around. And there is actually Ice creeps checking out if Roshan is standing there, so they won't be able to go in unannounced. And also Zenith rotating.
Oh, this is so sneaky. So Moob gets the illusion room, but then he puts the empower on the illusion because nobody empowers an illusion, right? So if you see the empower, it's gotta be the real hero. But so we'll see. Maybe it'll fool Ice. No, doesn't fool him. But a nice attempt.
Yep, and they're sitting around the ancients. It wasn't really a sack, but nonetheless trying. And this is the Roshan fight. Both teams know it. There's a smoke up on TongFu. They're actually gonna be going in, but that creep standing there, well, that kind of ruins their chances a bit.
Yeah. The illusion actually has the gem as well, so that's kind of nice as far as scouting is concerned. Yeah.
Whoa, they're running in right into top of each other. Ice, Fiend's Grip, and Tangled going down. Move. Use this RP to get freedom, to get Yamate, and both will drop. Never mind, Yamate able to blink himself away. Here comes Hao jumping himself in. Gets telekinesis on one of his illusions. XY lands a couple of March of the Machines, but blinks himself away, or walks himself away, and that surprise engagement went the way of TongFu. 2 dead. And Roshan probably now gonna be taken by TongFu, who will gladly take that Aegis off his hands.
That fight would have been so much worse if not for Ice. Clutch play by him. Got the RP steal and, you know, got it on 4. So he's gonna have that in another minute. That is gonna be Roshan going down in favor of TongFu. So they've got a lot of muscle, you know, to try and push up onto the high ground right now, and we'll see how. Very aggressive as well. BKB picked up. He's got the Aegis. He's not going to think twice if he sees an opportunity to just jump straight on top of someone. And if he jumps in really aggressively, King J is probably going to just be able to follow up and bring down the tower. So, I mean, how can he even just trade his life away to ensure a tier 3? But obviously, they'd like to get a little bit more out of that.
Yeah.
It's kind of the worst case scenario for them right now. So Zenith, we'll see what they're going to be able to do here.
And yeah, because TongFu is still not in any time rush or something like that. Zenith is the one to need to do something about the way things are going right now. Maybe even a desperation rape here coming on Ice, but he just loses all his farm. And he needs to also have buyback, because next fights that will happen, buybacks are going to be all that more important, and you need to have it in order to win that fight. As we are going to be seeing XY, well, he is going to be having to be very careful. He's still, of course, trying to do what he can with the pushing out lanes constantly and such, but he has to be so careful, because if he goes down, there's going to be an opening for TongFu to actually go in and take down a tier 3 or even a tier 2 that's still standing. They still have a full HP tier 2 on the bottom lane standing around, so they could still take that one probably next, now that they have the Aegis, can try to force out a fight. But TongFu in the lead, and it also shows in the gold graph, 7,500 and 15,000 experience. In the lead, TongFu. Looking good.
And XY has to be so careful right now because he can't see anyone on the map. I mean, the dire vision is completely non-existent, so he doesn't know if he doesn't know what he's TPing into. He doesn't know who's lurking in the trees, who's waiting to blink on him, you know, be it Anti-Mage, be it the Magnus. So keeping the lanes pressured out is tough. And the only way that he can really do it safely is to wait until heroes show themselves in another lane and then go to the one as far away from that lane as possible.
Well, he's gonna be able to do that on the top lane soon, because everybody of TongFu is bottom, looking at the tier 2 tower that is not gonna get defended by Zenith. They want to save that fortification for the tier 3, or for the barracks maybe even. And TongFu is not even gonna try to push up to the high ground. They are gonna be finding an ancient, not a stack. Luckily for Zenith, they only lose 1 set. But Zenith is actually on the other side of the map trying to maybe push down something. They don't have that massive team fight potential, so they have to be really careful. Tinker TP's in as well. They're going to be having 5 here, forcing everybody off TongFu back. But they will be up against an Anti-Mage with a Basher.
They don't have the stolen RP anymore because it's only a level 1 spell steal, so that would have been cute if they'd been able to get that one off again, but yeah, unfortunately Ice is just an extremely low level right
I
now.
love their positioning. Ice and Yamate standing around. Ice can still get himself out of there though, I guess. Yeah, he can. Oh, they're thinking it. And with Tinker TPing in, of course, he has the Hex. He is the one that should initiate.
But if they kill Hao and they don't see anybody else, then Hao just comes back with the Aegis and Mu initiates. So I think the right decision from Zenith there. And honestly, I think they just want to waste as much time as they can so that they can try and fight without the Aegis being up. So that's just, it's just keep TongFu running around in circles as best they can right now. Because while they do this little cutesy split push thing, TongFu aren't really able to push up onto the high ground.
But Zenith is not getting anything either. They're just sitting all on the sidelines doing nothing whatsoever, not really getting anything. Maybe they might be able to get the... No, they won't. Never mind. That's too
Nobody
optimistic.
suspects this.
Nobody suspects this. It's nice. It
who-
leaves TongFu wondering, like, where are our opponents? Now they realize, how? Gonna get Hexed, gonna get Sonic Wave. It's gonna be Manta style though. He is gonna be popping his Aegis, but the RP, it catches 3. Shockwave going through as well. RPV is stolen by Ice. Hits up on everybody. Is it gonna be enough damage? It's gonna be 2 for 2 for now. Fiend's Grip up by Yamate. Gonna get bursted down by How, who got back up again. 3 dead on the side of Zenith. It is gonna be Ice. TPing out. How? Not gonna be able to grab anybody anymore, and that is gonna be 2 out of the way for Zenith still alive. And they actually got, in the end, I guess it was a 3 versus 3 trade because they got the Aegis. But
Yeah,
what a fight!
if not for another beautiful RP from Ice, I think that would have been an absolute disaster because
Yeah.
everybody was RP'd right as the anti-mage respawned. I mean, it was exactly like I said. You know, you kill off the anti-mage, but to what avail? You know, it's.
He is gonna be back up
It's
and
tough.
gets ready to kill you
Yeah,
off.
and I mean now he's getting Abyssal Blade as well, so his damage is just crazy. I mean look at this cleave. It's not even fair. Meanwhile, I mean Tinker's doing a good job, but if he gets jumped by this Abyssal Blade Anti-Mage now, that's him gone.
Yeah.
So
At least he has a Hex, so he can
Tough.
try to delay it. Can try to make sure it doesn't happen. But yeah, it's gonna be tough for him, and it's gonna be tough for all of Zenith to still get this because they just had a fight with. You know, you were absolutely right. And why are they fighting when there is actually an Aegis up? When they could just wait until it's gone, and they wouldn't have to wait that long even. And
mean, the
then it
cutest
was a
thing
good
they could have
fight for
done-
them.
yeah, the cutest thing they could have done would be to time Roshan to the second, and then 5 seconds before Anti-Mage's Aegis is about to fall off, then jump on him so he doesn't pop his BKB because he thinks the Aegis is going to save him, but it doesn't. And that's like, then we're talking split seconds in terms of getting farmed. But I don't know. I think the game is coming down to it. So that's a very what if situation, but something that Zenith maybe could have been really cutesy and gone for.
Well, they still have an RP, but as you said already, it's only level 1 spell still. Unfortunately, Rubik's still level 10, while there's actually a level 22 anti-mage on the map. Not really where you want to be. Rubik is instantly also the lowest hero on the map, and he is going to be losing that RP without really putting it to work again, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, that's sucks for Ice, but he's shown that he can steal it consistently, so I think we'll probably see it up. Hopefully another time. His positioning's been really good, and every single time he's gotten the RP, he's also been within 1200 range, so he doesn't have to walk too far before blinking. So yeah, just really nice positioning from Ice. I shudder to think what Zenith's team fights would be looking like without that. So that's extremely reliable. You know, a reliable reverse polarity for Zenith is something that they really need right now.
And Zenith is actually still looking for fights, or at least they are very far ahead. They are the ones that roam around most, I feel like, most on the enemy's map. Let me rephrase that for a second. And TongFu is happy with just having their anti-mage just pick up some farm, their lone druid pick up some farm. The supports roam a bit in between the two, but they're not really looking for anything else. Well, Zenith is the one that actually comes on the other side of the map, seeing maybe we can find someone out of position, but they won't be able to do that right now because the positioning of TongFu is just very secure. They don't need to worry about pickups if they're together the whole time. Like, okay, anti-mage can be by himself, fine. We know that he can survive. Supports are sticking together like glue. And lone druid can be by himself, and they're all doing that.
Interestingly, they actually have a gem up, but they haven't been able to find any of these radiant wards. So you can sort of tell the region that Rubik is wandering just by where there are still wards for TongFu. And what have we got? Roshan's going to be up in about 2 minutes, so I think. Well, given how the team fights have been going, I think it could go either way, though How is getting scarier by the second. Another 5.3k gold in the bank with him.
Well, and I take back what I said, because TongFu, they are roaming around now in enemy jungles. So they are the ones looking for something, looking for a fight. Take the enemy jungle while they're at it. No wards up, as there's also, of course, a gem on Zenith's side. I believe, well, Rubik still has it right now. But How gonna be showing himself a bit on the top lane. But if How is here, you can, of course, count your marbles that there's also gonna be the rest of his team behind him. So Zenith is no fool and is not gonna be going on a wild goose chase to only be having themselves get caught out.
Zenith's still doing a really good job of stalling. If they can play the lane control game well enough, they might be able to secure this Roshan. Though I think... So bot lane's going to be pushed. That's going to be maybe 20 seconds. It's a minute from Rosh. XY needs to push top. Mid lane hangs in the bounce. No, I think it's... TongFu should at least be able to fight for Roshan. Unless they have to wait a really long time before going into the pit. And XY can maybe be a nuisance somewhere, but... Yeah, I think that's just going to be... Probably going to be the next Roshan going the way of TongFu here.
How is so damn rich?
Yeah, he's rolling in it right now.
Yeah. And he is saving the
28K
slot
net
probably for the ages.
Yeah, so that's coming along shortly, and he could even pick up Boots of Travel shortly
And
if
his
he
goal
so
per minute-
desires.
His goal per minute is not even that exceptional, I have to say. Like it's 656. We've seen it better.
We have seen higher GPMs on anti-mage, but just the GPM that this hero pushes out is crazy.
Yeah, Laundry is going to be starting on the Roshan. Ice, creep gets killed off.
Yeah, the cute centaur gets the little stun on the bear. So that's going to be about the extent of it. Meanwhile, we haven't checked King J's items in a little bit. He's actually picked himself up a Blade Mail and has a Demon Edge up on the bear as well. So going to be seeing probably just MKB coming along shortly.
Zenith not even trying to contest it. They realized it was going on, but they knew that they couldn't do anything about it, so they'll just let it slide. But it also means that Zenith probably don't want to fight for another 6 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know if they can pull off the tree strategy again. That bought them some time, but
Yeah.
Fool me once. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. So TongFu probably not going to be falling for that one. The Aegis is up on King J actually, so that's
It leaves
Yeah,
now
it's nice
to
for
buy
him.
something.
yeah. How's going to be picking up his
Butterfly?
E-Fly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Nice.
that's up.
Won't have a
I don't know,
buyback though if he completes it.
Does he need it?
Doubt it, but he
Maybe.
did go down in the previous fight. I mean, if there's a hex, there is enough damage to take him down. The only downside is then Zenith doesn't have any damage to take down the rest of TongFu's team down.
Yeah, exactly. If they can get maybe 2 hexes back to back before Hao pops the BKB, then I think they can kill him. But the problem is Hao is always going to, more than likely going to be BKBing preemptively. So killing the anti-mage actually requires Zenith to initiate, and that's just not something that they want to do, because initiating for Zenith involves jumping in with a Tinker, who then has a Magnus jump over the top of his head and reverse polarity, the rest of his team. So it's tough times, unless XY with really fast fingers can jump in Hex 1 and then just use the Ethereal Blade damage on the Magnus to cancel his blink. But he's got a BKB as well, so interrupting the blink for a consistent amount of time is also very, very difficult. And I think I touched on this at the very start of the game, but there's 3 targets that you want to kill and only 1 piece of permanent lockdown on Zenith right now.
Yeah, it's a bit troublesome. Oh, Ethereal Blade actually on the Tinker ready. Trying to stop Hao from attacking the tower, but only delaying the execution of the tower. Hex up on Banana, but also just forced back. And I don't think that TongFu is gonna stop here. They've got the Aegis, they are ready to fight. That bear having his MKB ready now as well, and the Enfeeble up on the gyro will make sure that he is basically hitting for nothing whatsoever. Rocket Barrage. A rocket rather. Oh, no more rockets, Hao says. Bane actually able to pick up the kill. Fiend's grip up on the Ice goes down with the mana void. BKBs, doesn't matter, you're gonna be sucking your RP anyways, and they're all gonna go down. Come on, buyback from Ice. If he goes down again, nice RP return, and it's Sunshang that at least goes down. TongFu on low HP cooldown, gonna be helping off to kill off the Magnus. Hao still alive for now, blinking himself away on 19.4 HP. And of course did not have that Aegis Nightmare up on the Tinker. They might be able to kill him off again. Where is his team? He's
Dead
the only
without
one alive.
buyback. Dead without buyback is exactly where his team are right now. So.
Oh, I thought that Zenith was taking it back. With forcing the Anti-Mage out of the base. Anti-Mage is actually all the way back towards the Ancients. But they weren't able to get it, and they lose the set of racks. They lose 4 heroes and then some, because they used the buyback on the Tinker, they used the buyback on the gyrocopter, and that's actually it. But they just lost everything. I thought it was gonna go better at the end, but nope.
It was looking pretty good, but they didn't even get King J's Aegis. So
Yeah.
that's another 2 minutes there for TongFu.
It's quite surprising though. Like, King J is not the most tanky one there. They could try to take his Aegis, but the downside is, of course, I mean, even if you take his Aegis, the bear will still be there for a moment, so you might as well just trying to kill off the rest before you go for King J. Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, and it's such a question of who do you focus.
Yeah.
For Zenith, it's so tough because, I mean, if you focus one of the big three, the Lone Druid, the Anti-Mage, or the Magnus, well, then Bane has been getting off some really sneaky grips, you know, in the middle of these fights and locking out important heroes. So, I don't know. It's so tough for Zenith. We've got a Refresher Orb now up as well for Moose, so that's going to be huge for him. Maybe Ice is going to be able to get the combo breaker in the middle of those RPs. We'll see. He has been spot on with the steals. Unfortunately, the fight in the base, he was forced to blink backwards defensively, which left it on cooldown when he got the steal, which meant that it wasn't quite so ideal with the buyback synchronization. But I mean, when you're relying on Rubik to be able to get a perfect RP with buybacks to win a fight, then you're kind of in a tough spot.
We're gonna see TongFu just going in again, not really caring about how much they're gonna get stopped, because Yamate already gets Abyssal, goes down, doesn't have a buyback. It is gonna be Rex next, and I think Zenith has to call the GG, and they do. And this is only game number 1 though. Game number 1 where TongFu pulls out a game that I think a lot of people weren't expecting. They take one game of Zenith and is best out of 5 for the grand finals for the AMD Premier League with $3,000 at stake, or at least both of the teams already have got $1,500 secured, but you of course want to double that if you want to win. You can double that, and that is the goal for these teams, as well as of course showing that they are the better team. Of course, both teams. Nice. RPs
Style
too.
points for move, nothing but style.
Both teams are tier 3 invitees, and they just want to prove their worth, prove that they are indeed worth those invites. Game number 2 gonna come up really soon. Final words?
Stick around. I think it's gonna get hectic.
Yeah, I think
That's all I can say.
That's a good ending note. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.